Hello, folks. It's Ricky Ricardo here with my mother, and we're going to talk about coronavirus and her 2020 experience and what she's experienced in Muncie, Indiana, Middletown America. So let's get going. Mom, what was when was the first time you heard the word coronavirus?
Around March something.
And what have you experienced? Have you ever had it?
No.
Do you know anybody who has?
Nope.
Did you lose any jobs over it?
No. I'm on disability.
Uh,
I've lost a lot of my sanity.
Talk about that. What do you mean you lost a lot of your sanity?
It just, I don't feel like going nowhere. You gotta wear a mask when you do go somewhere, and I can't hardly breathe when I'm wearing it. And I got a lot more anxiety. I've got anxiety disorder to begin with. And then it's gave me a lot more anxiety. I had to take extra medicine, which I shouldn't. But it's really took a toll on me.
Have you lost any friends?
As far as I know, I haven't.
No, I mean, like, not to death. Obviously, you just answered the question that you don't know anybody that's had it. But have you lost any friends over, like, your perception of the pandemic?
No.
What do you think as far as the pandemic being political?
I think it is. It's all to do. I think it's got something to do with the government.
Like Trump or just the government in general?
The government in general. And Trump.
So, do you think now that Trump's been voted out, do you think Biden will be better? Or do you think it'll just continue?
I'm hoping and praying that it's going to be better. I really can't say. I mean, I hope he's going to be better for us.
Well, I'd speak as far as coronavirus and the pandemic. Do you think, like...
Is he going to get a hold on it and get busy about getting the medicine out or whatever for everybody?
Yeah, sure. I mean, if that's the question you want to answer, answer it.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Hope he gets on the ball and does something. Besides what Trump was doing, I think he was trying to kill us. Along with the government.
Well, Biden's a part of the government, Mom.
I know. I don't know, it's just really put a... I don't know how to say it. Damper on my life.
Well, I think it's pretty much put a damper on all of our lives.
Yeah.
And perception is reality, so it just all goes into your own perception of how, it affects your life, I guess. But at the same time, with all these rules and regulations with the mask and, school closings and job closings and all that, like, there are certain aspects of it you couldn't, none of us could avoid.
It was like the world was coming to an end.
In certain ways, it has.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people...
Well, I believe we're living in the last days. I know that as a revelation. There's too many signs. So we just all need to buckle down and pray and try to get close to God.
Amen.
Because it's getting worse. It ain't getting better.
That's for sure.
There'll be something new with Biden being the president. But I think it's going to last for a while.
What else, Mom?
I can't think of anything else.
Well, that was my mother. That was her perception and her experience with coronavirus. Now, actually, no, I do have one more. Have you missed any doctor's appointments because of it? Have you missed?
Yeah, and they're. I've watched my doctor on a TV instead of seeing him in person, and now they're calling me at home to talk to me and have my doctor's appointment instead of going to the doctor's office.
I actually experienced that down in Florida. Did they ask you to go to like Walmart or somewhere and get your blood pressure taken and stuff like that?
No.
Down in Florida, they did that to me. They were like, "Can you go to Walmart or CVS and get your blood pressure taken and this, that, and the other?" I'm like, if I'm going to do all that, I might as well come to your office. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
like it's just.
But I check mine all the time, so I ain't worried about it.
Well, you got a machine, I don't.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I mean, the world as we know it has ended in a lot of ways. It's sad, but hopefully, at some point we can get back to like actually not socially distancing and seeing each other in person instead of Zoom or Skype or FaceTime or
or video chat.
It just hopefully we will, stop being afraid of each other soon, because this is just not the way human beings were meant to live.
No.
Hey guys, good morning. Well, might be good evening depending on when you're watching this video. But so I'm really excited. I'm about to go and interview a friend of mine. Actually, my cousin's husband. He's a really insightful man. He's really an honest and a man of integrity. He might look like a hillbilly, but he's a man of integrity. So I'm really excited to interview him and get his perception of the pandemic and deliver it to you guys. So without any more rambling from me, let's see what Herbie's got to say. So what's your name?
I'm Herb Amber.
And when was the first time you heard the term coronavirus?
I heard it back in probably, it was last year, a couple months, I forget when the actual, when it started getting bad, a couple months before that, they were talking about it slowly, but like it was no big deal, before this whole thing just busted wide open. And so bits and pieces on the news here and there.
Have you ever had it?
No.
Has anyone never had it?
No, actually no. Everybody's tested. I've known people that have been tested and they were negative. They just had cold.
How has it affected you personally the most?
The only thing that's affected me personally, not sickness wise, but the thing that's probably affecting like the social distancing, but staying packed in at home, that's probably affected me more than anything. Not being, people that saying you can't do this or do that. That's probably the most.
Have you lost any jobs because of it?
No, not because of that. There's been circumstances in my family personally, like my wife being sick, that I've lost jobs. But on a side note on that, they were skeptical 2 or 3 times that they thought she had it, and every time she tested negative. And it was just a cold or some kind of infection with antibiotics that she could take. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm glad she's okay. I mean, as far as coronavirus goes,
man. But it's just personally, I think it's been inflated a little bit. I think it's real, but I think it's been inflated news-wise. Boom, it's been sensationalized, especially when they talk about hospital deaths. And everyone that counts is a coronavirus death, even if they've had it and now don't have it, get in a car wreck and die. It's a coronavirus death. They chalk it up to that. And it's for more subsidies and for more grants from the hospitals. And I think they're playing with people's lives when they do that kind of stuff. Like it's just for money, for monetary purposes. I don't think that's right. But I do think it's real. And I think that, but it's just like when the, other flus have been around, it might be more aggressive, but it's a whole money game now, I think. It's just a whole money game, financial.
Do you think it was ever, it was maybe political because of it being an election year?
Sure, because you know what? It's kind of weird that the election's over and all of a sudden, and everybody said, hey, I bet you a week after this election, they're going to come up with the vaccine. Boom, there it is, you know what I mean? And I don't know if I don't know what side Democratic Party was trying to hold. Somebody was trying to hold it back until then. You know, maybe because I'm for neither. I think Joe Biden could have. I've heard stories that Joe Biden has known about it and released it, but that's just hearsay. Some people take these little flights of fancy, and then it blows up, and it turns out to be nothing. You know what I mean? But there's something going on, and I think that with this vaccine, them holding it back, pushing it back, that's where it is happening, and where compromised people are dying. You're playing with their lives doing that. You know what I mean? You're just holding back even longer. And the longer you hold it back, the people that are in bad situations are going to die. So they're more interested in political gain than people's lives. It's like a chess game. Us, the public, are the pawns in the chess game, and they're the big cats running the show and not caring. They're going to be taken care of no matter what. You know what I mean? They got the money to be, even if something like a nuclear war happens, they're going to care less because they can be sheltered. They already have things in place to take care of them and their family. Us, nah, so I don't trust the government. I'll just say that. I guess I should have put that in a nutshell. But yeah, there's a long-winded answer for you. So,
Now, do you think that this will... Okay, here's another conspiracy theory that a lot of people were focused on in the beginning. It was that coronavirus was a patsy to cover up the effects of 5G. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, I know about 5G, and I don't know. I mean, this is my theory, and I don't know if it's right. I could be wrong, but months before I heard about this coronavirus, they could start calling it the Wuhan virus. In China, there was a lot of protesters in Wuhan wanting clean air, clean water, better living conditions, thousands and thousands. Well, there's some people saying that that's where it leaked out from, and conspiracy theorists say that it was because the Chinese, it was a form of population control for them, that they leaked it on purpose. Some people say no, because why would you do that? Well, because they're a communist government with a dictator, and they got billions of people that they also don't care about the lives. They want to get them people out of there, and they think it spread. I'm not too sure about the 5G. I know about 5G and what it is, but I'm not educated on enough to state any opinions I got on it. You know what I mean? But my opinions are, I think that it came. Okay, we're in a trade war with China. And Trump was like, okay, you're not going to tax us no more, and we're not going to let you have something for nothing, because I guess we was giving them, we was taxing them like third world country taxes, barely anything. Well, we stopped that. All of a sudden, we get this virus, and maybe it came from China, maybe it didn't, and that's my opinion. I think they say a bioweapons lab leaked it on accident, and then that's when it got to the people. But accidents, come on, still, I got more contained than that. Accidents shouldn't happen like that. That's science, and it should be. They know how to take care of stuff, seal stuff up, stop cross-contamination. Tell me that was an accidental leak. I think it was on purpose. I think it started in China. That's my opinion on it. So you can piece that together somehow, I guess, and see what you can get out of it. That's my opinion on it. Now the 5G,
Well, I think one of the reasons why the 5G got such involved in this is because the first test city for 5G was Wuhan, China.
Oh, well, see, there you go. Okay. So that's a form of unleashing it on the people. You know what I mean? So there you go. I mean, I believe that they did it like that, and you just told me kind of like the way that they did it. You know what I mean? In a way, that's scary, man. And because China will take. If we develop technology, China will look at them plans, make a carbon copy, and do it better. And that's scary because, we're dealing with the more technology gets involved, the more people can be, instead of going to war, you can isolate one person, and get rid of them that way. So, I don't know.
Well, it's funny you say that China will take what we do and do it better, because they live in a society where you're not allowed to fail.
Right, absolutely.
And we live in a society that if you fail, we'll still give you a ribbon anyways.
And it's funny you say that, because in those communist countries, it's horrible that if they have a lockdown, you leave, they'll shoot you. You know what I mean? But it takes care of it. And that's the bad contradiction. they force people to do it, and stuff will go away. But man, to me, it's a balancing point. You shouldn't have somebody dictating you like that, but there shouldn't be so many people in our country. We should strive more instead of being made to strive more. We should strive more on our own. If we're a nation and a democracy, to keep it that way, we should independently strive ourselves. You know what I mean? They're forced to. It gets stuff done, but what a bad way to do it to live. You know what I mean? What a bad way. You can't conform. You can't. There's so many restrictions. But it's a bad way to live, and then our country is like a hidden bad way to live, because you got people that, you know, are so lazy they don't want to do nothing. It's just, to me, there needs to be a better balance. I mean, I'm not saying we should have a dictator, not by no means, but I think some people should get off their asses, you know, strive, and if they're successful, instead of being forced at gunpoint to be successful, it's kind of creepy, it's kind of scary. That's the way I want to live. So, you know.
So, in closing, how do you think this ends?
I think that there's going to be more people dying. I think the media has sensationalized the number, like I said, with the hospital cases, because they take those statistics from that. Then they give you a map where, like, it's everywhere. It might be. I think it's in smaller doses. See, what I've heard is that, yeah, it's more contagious now than it's been, but it's becoming less deadly. Because actually what it's done, it's thinned out the weak, and then the strong ones build them. You know what I mean? Just like anything that happens. I think what's going to happen is there will be a vaccine. I think it's too quick, because you have to have a lot of scientific research. It's 95% effective, but they're also saying that to caution pregnant women taking it. You know, that's kind of scary. And for a vaccine to be out that so fast, there could be mistakes made that could be deadly. So it could either end in what everybody wants, a glorious, wonderful ending with it subsiding, or it could become a whole crazier mess. So I guess time will tell, and we'll see what goes on. But as far as I know, nobody I know has it. It's about facts and fiction, and feeding people lies, and you have to weed out what's true and what's not. And that makes it hard for me to predict the outcome, because they're making it hard for me to really see what the reality is or what's really going on. So I think they like to confuse people. I hope it ends okay. I hope everybody does okay. And I just hope the world becomes a better place. You know? I mean, that's about it. I hope it ends well.
Well, thank you, Herbie.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
You got it, man.
So, it just came to my attention that my little nephew, the smart little bugger that he is, put it together that if he said he had coronavirus, he wouldn't have to go to school for 2 weeks. So, he went to school and told them that he had coronavirus. And his little happy butt had to go get tested for it. And, I think he learned his lesson. Let's go find out what he has to say. So, Jesse.
What?
How did the coronavirus test feel that they did?
Not good.
What did they do?
Stick something on my nose.
How big was it?
Huge.
Huge?
Yeah.
You ever going to tell somebody you had coronavirus again? Look at the camera.
Nuh-uh.
So the next time you go to school and you don't want to be at school because you want to play your video game, you're not going to tell them you had coronavirus?
Mm-mm.
Good. It's never good to lie. No matter what it's about. Always tell the truth.
You like this game, Uncle James?
You know I don't like video games.
Now look.
For real, Jesse, like the only reason I play them at all is just to hang out with you. I really don't get into them. You know, the only game I've ever gotten into by myself was Red Dead Redemption.
Or Mortal Kombat.
Even that, I really don't like playing without you. But that is one of the ones I would play.
James, look. What I did.
So look at the camera and say, I'm sorry I said I had coronavirus. I'll never do it again.
I had coronavirus.
that you said you had coronavirus because you don't have
Sorry
it.
that I said I had coronavirus. I never even said that.
Yeah, you did. That's why you had to go to the hospital and get checked.
I said my heart was hurting.
Then why did they test you for coronavirus?
I don't really know.
Yeah, okay. I just got through telling you not to lie.
I wasn't lying.
Yeah, you are.
You can even bash Grandpa.
The school called Grandpa and told him that you said you had coronavirus. I hope you learned a lesson. So, I'm so excited to finally get the interview with my mom. It was really cool to see her aspect, or her perception on the pandemic. Because like I've said before, I've not been here for most of the pandemic. Like, I was in Orlando when it first started, and that's where I quarantined at, which, you know, by season 1. The summer was basically spent in Wisconsin Dells, as you know, by season 2. And then I went off to the Big Apple, New York City, and I spent the end of the summer and the beginning of the fall in New York City. So I really didn't see I didn't see my family at all, and I hardly ever talked to them because I was so busy. So to get those their perception and what they experienced is cool for the show, but also is cool for, you know, me personally because it's my family. So I'm hoping that you guys enjoy it, and I would really like to interview anybody who would be interested in, you know, sharing their story, whether or not you've had it, whether you've known anybody, just like, what did you experience this year? So if anyone's interested, please hit me up on Facebook or leave a comment on this video. You know, I'm willing to interview anybody. All I want is truth. So if your truth is, I had coronavirus and it's very real and you should wear the mask, and then give me that truth. If your truth is, I don't believe coronavirus is real, and you know, I lost jobs over it, I've lost financial stability because of it, and I've never seen anyone who has it, I've never had it myself, like, if that's your truth, give it to me. I'm really just here for truth, because none of this has made sense since it started, and it still doesn't make sense. And so I just want to get the true life story from the Americans who lived it, not the politicians who corrupted and programmed it. So please, if you're interested, please let me know, and we can set up a time to get together, you know, indoor, outdoor, whatever you're comfortable with, you know what I mean? So yeah, hit me up.